Welcome everyone to Beijing, China, day 2 of competition. The Skate to Milano competition. I'm Ted Bart along with Mark Hanratty as we take a look at the National Indoor Stadium outside of this beautiful facility that's host to Road to the Olympics. Mark, we had a great day yesterday, opening day. Different event than we do normally on the Junior Grand Prix, but it was exciting to see the seniors as good competition as well.
Great competition, and as we left the venue yesterday, the hubbub and energy that we sensed from judges, from officials, and from skaters was one of great appreciation for an inaugural event.
Yeah, and I think the interesting thing is that this has such a range of skill, like the juniors. You know, we have the top of the top of the top, and we have the developing countries, and we have the same thing here to a degree. Your top seniors that are here competing for those Olympic spots, and many who won't make that spot, but are on their own journey and trying to earn, you know, pride for their nation back home.
And a real sense of the entire skating community coming together. Obviously, we have the series, the Challenger Series events, the Grand Prix Series events. This is an individual event, and thus the entire global skating community has descended upon this National Indoor Stadium in Beijing for this prestigious event, and there's definitely a sense of excitement and gratitude that I feel from the community for this new addition to the calendar.
Yeah, and I just wanted to continue on that, because I think what the ISU has done here is they took this out of a smaller Challenger event, of course. They made a big deal out of this, and the athletes, the coaches, the parents, the team are absolutely thrilled, excited, and honored to be here at this event. So kudos to the ISU for that.
And as you were mentioning, Ted, previously this had been taking place in the Challenger Series within the Nebelhorn Trophy. And, you know, I see this constant reference online to the Chinese Nebelhorn, but actually now this is Skate to Milano, and maybe there will be then the Skate to the French Games when the Alps are the host of the 2030 Winter Olympics. Hopefully this will be so popular that we'll see this repeated again in 4 years.
I think we need to brand this. Don't have the brand name yet, because no longer is it owned by Nebelhorn, and it's not even owned by China. It's owned by ISU, and this is a new era, Vision 2030. Lots will happen over the next 4 years. Extreme things will happen over the next 4 years. And 4 years from now, this event will take place somewhere else in the world, perhaps. But it's a special event, well thought out. And, you know, not a huge audience, but we'll have a growing audience on the weekend.
Yes. And I think even for me, considering beyond 2026, I think that's the first time that I've referenced the French Winter Olympics in 2030. Just, it seems strange for us to be even considering a 2030 Winter Olympics. And for some of the athletes that are competing in this event, as we look at the starting lineup for this competition, that will be perhaps for some a bigger fixture in their long-term athlete development plans. There are some that are here with the view to potentially close out their competitive career in 2026, and of course there'll be some that will be viewing to go to the French Alps and compete in 2030, and that's what's made yesterday, the first day of competition, so exciting to see the diverse range of approaches toward this event.
Yeah. You know, the heart rate of the athletes, as we take a look at the officials for this event, we thank them for all the time that they provide to this sport, away from home, family, and friends at work. The athletes, as they come out of that curtain, and you'll see that in just a few moments, their heart has to be pounding. This is a completely different intro, different excitement level, and perhaps different nerves as well.
Yeah, the pressure is real. And as we get ready to meet the first group of skaters taking to the ice, confirmation that these men were already on this venue at 6:30 this morning. So their practice, their first one, understandable to have a whole conglomerate of different feelings, exhaustion, fatigue, but incredible excitement and adrenaline as well.
And as you just saw on the screen, we are in the heart of the Olympic area of Beijing, 2008 Summer Olympics, 2022 Winter Olympics. It's an incredible part of this wonderful city, that 22 million people.
Sporting brilliance and Olympic excellence, it has, the energy of that is in the very fiber of this building, and the skaters will hopefully tap into it as they get ready to skate.
Here we go, and we start right now with the introduction of our first skater. Representing Ecuador,
the first competitor of the second day of competition, Ecuador's Gabrielle Martinez.
Marching to the ice with pride.
And then to neutral athlete Petra Gumennik. And then to the second of the neutral athletes, Yahi Panau. And then to the Portuguese skater, David Boa. And then to the Irish champion, Dylan Judge.
Here we go in the 6-minute warm-up. Interesting to see Petra Gumennik. We covered him on the Junior Grand Prix when he first entered years ago, and he was literally half the size. He was just a small young boy. How interesting we have the skaters we've seen on the junior as well, now in the seniors from South America, a growing number of participants in that continent.
Absolutely, and having seen some other Ecuadorian skaters competing internationally, we know that there are a community of skaters that are watching and supporting Gabrielle, and excited to see him wearing the jacket that he wears with pride. And you know, I in pursuit of getting more information about the athletes, saw the reveal of this team jacket for Gabrielle, and I think that is, for us as skaters, we know, and being in this community, I think it probably stands across skating and all sports athletes, when you get to unveil and wear your national team jacket, that is I remember it myself, it was such a big deal to get the national team jacket.
A defining moment, that's for sure, as we take a look at Petra Gumennik. Yeah, getting the national jacket, there are certain defining moments in a skater's career, and they can be good or bad moments, right? Because they change your pathway, they drive you forward one way or the other. And when you get that first invitation to represent your country, there is such a feeling of pride and wonderment and excitement and nerves, and you name it, you know, it comes with it. And that's what's so great about the skating system. You have these stepping stones along the way.
And the only challenge is that then, after achieving one accomplishment, the satisfaction of what you're, or what you're satisfied with just becomes greater and greater, and then there's a constant pursuit of more achievement. And that's what we will see throughout the course of this event. There will be very different approaches for the different athletes, and there'll be skaters that obviously are definitively here with a view to achieve one of the 5 spots, just 5 spots here, and for essentially the primary purpose of this event is to take up the 5 spots that remain for men's figure skaters at the Winter Olympic Games in Milano Cortina.
But the event itself has a wider, it's not the intention of the event, but it does have a wider reach of participation at a higher level for countries around the world. And I think that's what's also exciting about this. We miss that a little bit in the factor, because this is the Olympic journey, really, it is. It's about those 5 spots, but there's many more than 5 skaters in this event.
Absolutely. And for the athletes, particularly perhaps for the athletes who have been quite vocal already in acknowledging that they are mindful of the fact that their chances of taking one of the spots is limited, they have said that by being here, they feel that they're tapping into a glimmer of the Olympic experience and the Olympic energy.
Oh, listen, look at the rink.
Yeah.
I mean, how can you not feel that? And we talked a little earlier today about what we saw in the women's yesterday and what we might see in the men's here. And I think that we will see a stronger field depth, if you will, in this. The women's in the top group, you know, they're pretty special. There's no question. We're going to have some top men here as well. But I think the depth in this event might be, they're all very capable. We see quads and triple axles. Whether they'll deliver them under pressure into the bright lights, I don't know. But we have seen some good, strong talent in this event. And we'll see how it unfolds over the next few hours.
Yes, and certainly in the women's short program, Adele Petrosian started in this opening group, and she went on to lead the event. The skater on screen now, Petra Gumennik, with the quadruple jumps looking as comfortable as they are, has definitely the potential to do the same feat. We'll see as it unfolds, as you say, Ted. 4 hours of competition.
Yep.
But already first group, triple axles and quadruple jumps on display.
And you could just feel the excitement. We walked in the building a little earlier today and had the men on the ice practicing, and you could feel that the anticipation for the event, which is the real one. Practice sessions are important to get comfortable. They're not important for the result.
No.
Although they have a part in that.
The practice session that we saw this morning was of the final group who will take to the ice later on in this event in about 3 hours' time. It looked a little fraught on the practice this morning. I saw lots of tension, but we've got to appreciate that as an inevitability. This is a big pressure event.
It is, and you need to go on the ice to get the feeling of the ice. You may not even want to be there, but you know you have to be there to get that feeling because you're just not sharp. But when you get to the rink for competition, the adrenaline starts to flow, and all of a sudden you are much more alert in every way. Maybe nervous as well, but your attention to detail is heightened. Absolutely.
Yeah. And there will be potentially, as we see Dylan Judge on screen, there will be potentially few things in a human's life, irrespective of skater, sportsman, athlete, in a lifetime that have this kind of peak of. I keep referencing cortisol. That the adrenaline, the drugs in the chemicals in your brain that run at this event are extreme.
It's interesting when you're old like me and you live a long life. There are certain moments that pictures in your mind that you don't forget. Then there's hundreds that you do forget. Oh, somebody reminds you. Oh yeah, that did happen, right? But this moment will be a picture for most of these athletes that they will not forget. It'll always be, maybe not in front of mind, but certainly in their mind. When they're talking about their history as they're older, they're talking about their experiences in life, this will be one of them.
And interestingly, for me, my participation at World Championship level is one that I've elected to forget, but I'll still always reference it. So for these skaters participating in an Olympic qualifier, irrespective now of what happens, there's a pride in being here.
Mark, there's a thing called footage and photos.
No, oh my gosh,
and
no. Oh, well,
yeah.
Bear in mind what we saw today of your performances, then we have ammunition to show, Mr.
I was dressed better in those days. Okay, here we go. The men's short program. It starts right now. Well, how interesting it is to have the first skater in the Skate to Milano brand here from Ecuador. It's a world sport. It's growing around the world, and we will see now 21-year-old Gabrielle Martinez.
And over the course of Gabrielle's career, it's been important to him to represent Latin American culture in his programs. And this short program is music to an Ecuadorian singer, Julio Jaramillo.
Son las lágrimas, el jugo misterioso para calmar las penas de este mundo. Con el profuso aceite de mis lágrimas ablandaré el rigor del cruel destino, la parida ardiente de mis ojos. No desmayaré jamás en mi camino. profuso aceite de mis lágrimas, ablandaré el rigor del cruel destino, la parilla ardiente de mis ojos, no desmayes jamás en mi camino. No desmayes jamás en mi camino.
You know, Mark, one of the things I love about our sport, and as we expand around the world, is listening to music from different cultures. I felt so relaxed and so sort of enthralled in music we hadn't heard before. This is one of the great things that we're starting to find.
And interestingly, that Gabrielle Martinez had said that the first time that his grandparents saw this short program to the rhythm of Lamparillo by Julio Jaramillo, they burst into tears.
Oh, really?
And, you know, we saw Ecuadorian skaters on the Junior Grand Prix who also elected to skate to Ecuadorian music in the sense
And
of
costume.
pride and costume. And so, you know, this is part of the Olympic movement essentially moving forward, and how wonderful that skaters are choosing to represent so proudly and passionately.
And this was not always a global sport,
No.
but it is now. We saw the triple Lutz there, a little bit under-rotated on the... Oh, no, the Lutz is clean they got. Here's the triple Sakao, triple toe loop. That is under-rotated in the judging system.
And for me, Gabriel, as we see him taking the star entry into the camel spin, aesthetically very beautiful positioning, nice line. There were a couple of moments when just the wobbles of the blade, there was a gorgeous spiral position just wobbling off some of the edges that he tried to maintain, and I sense that that's a reaction perhaps to being the first out, just a little bit of the jitters,
maybe.
understandably.
But one of the things that I felt he really did, he allowed himself to get absorbed in the music. Like he wasn't different than the music. That was part of his culture. He was proud of it, and I think he skated quite, really nicely to it.
And well, he said that his primary focus is to find a synergy between the artistic and the technical aspects of his skating.
Thank you everyone at home watching. Gracias a todos que están en la casa viendo.
Fantastic.
Well, the microphone's turned up. This is good.
Eso es lo más que tengo ahorita. Gracias, gracias.
We had it yesterday. We were just talking over it.
Oh, maybe that's what it was. Okay. Although the problem was going to be I can't speak.
That's okay,
every
but somebody else
language.
can.
Okay.
So,
Yes. The people that need to hear
we
what
will-
Gabriel is saying.
We'll listen in.
Providing the entertainment and the kiss and cry.
Absolutely. Let's take a look at the scores for Gabrielle. Short program, 43.94. He's the first skater out. So that was a beautiful program, beautiful music, wonderful moment from Gabrielle Martinez from Ecuador. Well, this young man has quite the history in skating. He's been at the international level for many, many years. I've seen him as a little boy, and now we see him here on an Olympic stage. Petra Gumennik.
And Petra has some impressive technical content in his planned program content. 2 quads and the triple axel as he skates the story of a murderer. Well, there are people standing in the arena to applaud Petra Gumennik, the neutral athlete who has just laid down a short program performance that will be incredibly difficult to beat. 2 quadruple jumps, triple axel, level 4 step sequence, level 4 on every spin, and conceptual program composition right down to costume intention. So every aspect covered.
No, he brought something very special to the ice. Not only technically, but of course with the concept, as you mentioned, and the costume. So I wondered, is that an addition to the program or is it a distraction? But it depends on how you view it. I think there's a story there. Obviously, it's intentional for a reason, and it has a part of the story we don't know.
I mean, to me, we've referenced costuming obviously throughout the course of the season and many seasons before. It doesn't make an impact on the judges. However, you can see with a costume like that, the story of a murder, the detail and thought that has gone into the creation of this program. You can see the amount of effort that has been done in the creation of this skater and this program as we see the quad flip.
And it's in clean, it's fine. Quad flip, triple toe loop, great start. A super opening pose, focus in his eyes.
And made sure that he held the back outside edge, hitting the line, getting the grade of execution to be positive.
The triple axel here, watch the arms and the free leg follow through way up into the air.
And with that, in terms of the bullet points for the judges for grade of execution, it had everything, including musicality. The landing of the triple axel was perfectly on point with the musical reference and the change of phrase. And there we see, well caught.
He has all the attitude, his choreographic movements with intention to work with the music. Look at this back layback, not easy for anyone.
But also back layback with a hand movement that's showing storytelling as well. As I
Great
say,
job.
The technical element score, job done. The program component score,
his personal
attended to.
No, totally. His personal best, 91.84, and he might beat that here as he waits for those scores. It's not the score, it's the placement, but the score gets you there. Has a different goal and a different focus. Of course, you want to be on the podium, but you really want that Olympic spot. 93.80. First, of course, early on in the competition, but that, as you said, will be hard to beat. Double thumbs up. Another neutral athlete, Yahi Panau.
Yahi, coached by Oleg Vasiliev. No skate to lose control by Teddy Swims. He too intends to open with the quadruple jump, quad toe, the first element in this short program.
Something's got a hold on me lately, though I don't know myself anymore. Feels like the walls are all closing in, and the devil's knocking at my door. Whoa, out of my mind, how many times did I tell you I'm no good at being alone? Yeah, it's taking a toll on me. Trying my best to keep from tearing the skin off my bones. Don't you know how to control when you're not next to me? I'm falling apart right in front of you. Can't you see? I lose control.
Neutral athlete Yahi Panau just shaking his head. The track title, lose control. It doesn't help when he lost control on that axle. Such a costly mistake, which is the reason that you can see a little bit of frustration.
And we've often talked about that. When you've got that adrenaline going, you use more muscle than technique, and he shoved that takeoff. You'll see the left foot push out in front of him, you know, in an effort to push himself up into the air, but that also set him in rotation too early, and that opened up into the single. That was devastating.
Yeah, the triple axel, 8 points as an element at base value.
Yeah, he has 0 on that, and so that's a massive loss of points.
That said, despite the technical element score mistake, there were some great aspects.
You've got a good look on the ice, as we see here. The quad toe, watch the landing, great height. That is on the quarter, so they've just changed that on the quarter, the landing. As we see here, there's a good program and a good feel to that. It's just the technical element took a little, the miss on the axle took a little bit.
I think we have been somewhat spoiled by Petra Gumennik's performance there, and that's obviously led the expectation of a 2-quad shot program. This had its highlight moments as well. Look at that. Great example of body control as we see the overhead shots. Check how much ice coverage there is within the sit behind. The sit forward feature as part of the span, and there. Difficult exit to try to boost the level, and indeed all 3 of the spins at the maximum level 4.
And as I look at that position, I'm thinking to say to the audience, don't think that's easy, you know, because you're down crouch and you need flexibility and strength and balance.
Не волнуйтесь, я буду кататься, пока не прокатаю 2 программы чисто. Долго вам придется. Спасибо.
Anxiously waiting for the scores, because this can be a big impact overall. But we're so early in the competition, we don't know where the standard is really being set here. 66.38, that will put him currently in 2nd place, but very, very early on. We don't know what that number will end up to place, and we'll have to watch closely throughout the rest of the competition, obviously, for all the skaters.
Our next skater represents Portugal.
Representing Portugal, 25-year-old David Gouveia, coached by Roman Ponsard, former French high-level skater.
And Roman, as coach, knew that David was a musician, but he was so impressed when he heard David's work, and David indeed has composed his own short program music, L'Echo de mon âme, by the artist who is the skater.
Well, that was a tough skate.
Yeah, and for David Gouveia, the Portuguese representative here, he said that he knows that he doesn't have the same level of technical proficiency as many of the other athletes have, but he was here to represent and enjoy. Now, the thing is, he doesn't have the same technical prowess. However, how many have we seen in this sport that have skated to their own construction? I know Star Andrews from America skated to music that she sang. Eric Bradford's created music. But amazing that David is going out there at an Olympic qualifying event.
No, he has so much skill and so many wonderful aspects of his life looking forward, no question. But on this day, he just wanted to do what he's capable of, and that didn't happen. That will be his disappointment. Because he can do all these things. He didn't, but he can. Look at the lean, start to go in the air. He has to do a 3-turn, tries to get up into the second triple toe loop, and that is clean. It's okay. It's given a -2E.
Yeah, and it's interesting because having heard from David and knowing that he was acknowledging in advance of the participation here that he was conscious that he didn't have the same technical proficiency, he wanted to represent and enjoy, and that he has done. But of course there is going to be an element of having been in the practice earlier today, seeing the likes of Gumennik going out with 2 quads, being around that is going to have an impact on your self-confidence to some extent, and so it's got to be hard coming out here.
In the big picture of life, one day like this doesn't matter. It can be a defining moment to help you in the future. You just never know that. This is a wonderful artist, both on and off the ice. So he's got a very rich future. There's no question of that. On this day, not what he wanted, not what he trained for, not what he's capable of, but it is what it is. And that is the brutality of sport.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter just our sport, but any sport.
The scores, please. David Gouveia.
Short program score for David, 43.13. That is 4th in the short program so far. Beyond the competition.
Our next skater represents Ireland.
Our next competitor representing Ireland, Dylan Judge.
What an amazing moment for Dylan. 21 years old now, representing Ireland so incredibly proudly as he skates to center for his short program.
It's the last time. Holding on to you, I think I'm fine now. Loving you so hard, I lost my damn mind. But where are you now? Oh, where did you go? I thought I found me an angel, but you're a damn little demon. You dug too deep in my soul. You turned me to a wretch so cold. I was begging you to love me though. And you watched me bleed on the floor. I was begging you to love me though. Now I'm a sinner 'cause I can't let go. I feel the blood with your evil touch. I'm sorry that I couldn't be enough. Sometimes I wish that I could be the one to be the one to be the one you love. Look at me, I'm terrified. Won't let me go. I seen the devil never hide. I've never seen that so close. I'm already in too deep, baby, there ain't no saving me now.
athletes, this means so, so much. But for me, I remember Dylan on public session. I remember approaching his parents and saying, this guy's got some talent, he should have some lessons. And now I'm thinking about Steve and Debbie at home, his parents, who will just be absolutely bursting with pride to see Dylan out here representing Ireland.
Didn't you start coaching him?
Yes, yeah, I remember Dylan, I remember seeing him on a public session thinking, oh, he's a talented young man. I'm responsible. I think about Debbie and Steve, I almost need to apologize to them now because they've now had to commit so much sacrifice in their life to support Dylan as they have. But I mean, the sacrifices they have made, I'm sure, are paid off with the pride that they're feeling right now.
And that's something so special. The family, the parents. There's the triple lutz at the top of the program. Deep in the knees, reaches up to get the triple toe loop done, and it is clean in the system, but with a minus GOE. Double axle takeoff, the only jump that goes off forward, and it is different. You're seeing a different scene in front of you. Some really have a hard time to lead up into space, and as we take a look here, change combo spin a little bit later in the program, level 4, so good work on that.
Good use of body movement here, and Dylan has suffered with injuries, had injuries really derailed him. But going out here now, representing Ireland with triple combination, triple flip. This is a really good skate for Dylan.
Yeah.
And again, as we've discussed with the other athletes, some have been impacted perhaps by being in an environment where they're surrounded by other skaters doing quads. He trains in Bergamo in Italy with Barbara Luoni and the great pair skaters there. So he's a bit more exposed and used to skating with elite athletes. But I sense that Dylan has embraced the competition here and utilized it to give him that skate.
Yeah, and this, as you said, is a really good skate for him. Even though there's going to be some minuses here or there or whatever, the point is, at what level do you perform at these bright lights? How high can you get to your ultimate level of performance, which is quite different than training nights.
Yeah.
Right? So for him on this day, I think he got pretty close.
Daily judge.
44.93 is his personal best from last season. This is a 50.21. So that's a pretty good score for him. But he's pretty happy with that. Now wants more, and that's a good thing.
Absolutely.
He's getting closer.
Skaters will now be finishing while the is resurfacing.
There we go. First ice resurfacing. When there are 5 groups, the ice resurfacing is after the first group. You're liking that for a short break?
Well, we don't really need coffee yet. We've
No.
a long day ahead.
No, you don't need any more coffee, that's for sure. We're just getting warmed up here in Beijing on day number 2 of competition. We'll take a short break during the ice resurfacing. We'll be back. Stay with us. Welcome back, everyone, to Beijing, China. Skate to Milano. I'm Ted Barton, Mark Conradi. Men's short program, group number 2, coming up in just a few moments. We had some great skating in group number 1, Mark.
Well, we've already seen an over 90-point score, which is a huge benchmark for one of those very prestigious and coveted 5 spots. As we see the first skater in this warm-up group, Australia's Douglas Gerber. And then to Paulo Baromeo, representing Philippines. And now to the Kazakhstan skater, Diaz Yurbay. And now to the 20-year-old Malaysian skater, Zenfang.
Representing Croatia, Yari Kesler.
And now to Croatia's Yari Kesler.
Mark, it was not long ago, as I watched those athletes take to the ice, it was not long ago you would never hear the country Philippines, Malaysia. You would hear Kazakhstan and Croatia maybe, but we keep talking about this because it's true. The world of figure skating is expanding globally. Okay, maybe not at the highest level, but we're getting representation and we're getting exposure in those countries that are not winter sport countries, that are discovering the beauty of this sport, that are engaging in it, you know, welcoming it. We'll do that obviously in Abu Dhabi. That is going to be fascinating for us to witness and to watch and to visit that part of the world.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think what's been so fascinating in this event is just to see that, as we've said before, the global representation. We see Douglas Gerber on screen now, an Australian athlete, and as you've said, other skating nations. What's so important, I suppose, now for these athletes like Douglas on screen now is to absorb as much learning opportunity from this event. And I think that's one of the huge challenges for the athletes is if you are then exposed in an environment like this to higher caliber skaters on the ice with you, you've got such a job to focus on yourself in a competition week. And it's a real challenge to then not be distracted by the brilliance around you while still also observing it to tap into for when you return to your training location.
You know, for these athletes, you can be taught, and you are taught by your coach technically. You are guided and taught by your choreographer. But no one teaches you this experience because you cannot be taught this experience. You have to live this experience. And not just this event, the Junior Grand Prix, the Senior Grand Prix, all those championships. It's the only way you become what they're trying to become, which is a competitor. They're already skaters. How do they become a competitor? You have to get on that ice and these bright lights with a building like this and learn how to handle the emotions.
It is so true. You cannot replicate, and it'd be an interesting concept when you consider some of the big names in our sport from a coaching perspective. For them to, you can have a coach with great mindfulness of the human, you can have a great teacher with great technique, but to actually, you can say the words, oh, visualize the arena being full, visualize a massive stadium, visualize the bright lights, but there is nothing quite like experience.
The reality is that in this sport, and I think in life as well, your coach or your teacher simply gives you words. They don't give you anything else. They don't do it for you. It's simply words. What you do with those words, or if you understand those words and translate that into what you need to do, fair enough that they're teaching you. So you've got to figure out what it feels like, how it relates to the words, you know, all those types of things. There's so much more than just a teacher telling you something. It's you understanding it and applying it.
Yeah, and I think for all of the athletes on screen and in this warm-up group, they will have competed at international events. I remember though when I competed at an ISU championship. So an international event, that itself is amazing. We referenced it in the previous warm-up group, the responsibility and excitement of wearing the team jacket.
Yeah.
But then doing that, a championship. There's just a different energy. Just the lighting, just as something as simple as the lighting of the venue is different. You don't get that in your training ring.
And you know, it's interesting whether it's a fan or other skating people say, well, why can't the person just do it? You know, sometimes the parents wouldn't understand, well, why is it so difficult? I see you do it every day. Why can't you just do it? Unless you're in those environment, it's impossible to understand the chemicals in your body. It all changes, the emotions of that, right? And there's very few people in the world that can completely 100% control that. And that's preparation, Jim.
Yes, and I think as we watch this men's event, we see different people reacting, the different characters of the event, the different humans reacting differently. There are quite a lot of male skaters who absolutely thrive in an event like this and in an occasion, but then it's managing the extra perhaps testosterone and adrenaline and making sure that then there's a calm as well. That's one of the amazing parts of our sport is you need energy and strength to be controlled.
Yeah, we see in practice sessions that every athlete's loving it. It's great. They're so inspired to skate with these other skaters, but this is different. It's no longer practice. It's the moment. And this all of a sudden brings a new feeling. You're going, oh, this didn't feel like this morning. Right?
Yeah.
This is brand new. What's going on? But you've got to do a lot of this to understand what happens to you and be able to learn how to manage it. Takes time.
And interesting, as you referenced this morning, it's important to note that the skaters on the ice now, we're here at 7:10 this morning. It's nearly 11 o'clock local time. But just to give a concept, many of the athletes in a different time zone to their training location. We've referenced the grandeur of the facility. That's different. Time zone different. They will have been up, at 5:30 this morning, early. There are so many factors that will be not normal to the skater.
Yeah, for sure. And the only thing that can help you if you can fly it in the right direction is the adrenaline. So you will get the energy. It's how you use that energy. Sometimes you get too much energy and you're not used to that. So it's such a fine balance. And I think it's not only in this sport, it's in most sports when you're in the brightest lights and the big stadium and the big championship game. It's how do you manage? You've already been taught everything. You know what to do. It's how do you apply it in that moment? And that is a skill that's only learned through experience, and that's why those bad experiences are great experiences from a long-term perspective.
And I think at this junction of the competition in the second group, to remind those that are watching, this is a seeded draw based on world ranking. So these athletes generally are less used to this experience and tapping into how to cope with all of the adrenaline that this brings.
Here we go, group number 2 of 5. Men's short program, day number 2 here in Beijing. And a lot of these skaters that skate at the end of the group have to go and learn how to wait, and that is another thing you have to learn. From Australia, 21-year-old Douglas Gerber.
And Douglas, as a medical student, had said that since March of this year, he's felt a real shift in his skating, and he's developing into the skater that he wants to be. And in that sense, he feels that these programs are reflective of the growth in this transitional stage of his skating journey.
Mark, you talked before this program started about this young man knowing what he wants to be or who he wants to be as a skater, and you could see that in this program for sure. Minus any one of the minor errors, it's not a big deal, but he wasn't wondering and hoping to be good. He knew how he wanted to be good, and I can see that.
And that's a real big turning point in a skater's development. And he said that this was new material to push him as he shares a hug with his coach, Richard Laidlaw. Wanted to be challenged, wanted to discover a different side of his skating. And I'm looking now just back at the stats, and he's twice competed at 4 continents. But this seems like a leap forward as we see the triple axel.
Yeah, this is going to be under rotating, kind of shove the takeoff. That
I did see it clean in the warm-up, but this is better.
Triple Lutz, nice, hands above the head, a little bit forward on the landing, but he pushes himself way up there, very patient between those 2 jumps, and he makes that work.
I thought he was going to double, but he dug deep. Well done.
So he was alert and aware throughout this program, and that's some really interesting choreography. And didn't just do it, but he did it with intensity and intention. Good flexibility and strength as well.
Love this. This is very de jour at the moment, but Douglas did it really well as transition on body movement within the step sequence. Level 3 achieved.
Little traveling there on that. It's not a little. There's actually a lot of traveling there.
Poor skaters are falling victim to these camera shots to see the travel on the spins. But you know, we've referenced other skaters who have competed already, who have been skaters that have created the music to their own performance. Douglas is a 4th-year medical student. He's balancing his own brilliance as an academic as well as now being a triple axeler.
It's amazing. You know, we just talk about these as skaters, but you can do the research and find out. But to balance life with a university course or even high school and this high-performance sport, it's incredible. Life is full. Let's take a look at the short program scores. He's the 55.14 is his personal best, I think, from last season. But this is a 62.08 for Douglas Gerber. He looks pretty happy with that, and that'll put him currently into 3rd place. There's a smile.
Job well done.
Yeah, he's on a mission to challenge himself, be who he wants to be on the ice in performance, and he did that here today.
Our next skater represents the Philippines.
Our next skater representing the Philippines, Paulo Baromeo.
And Paulo competed, but then felt burnt out and left the sport. But now returning with new goals, new objectives, and new passion as he skates to On My Mind.
Started out like any Sunday. Nothing was the same on Monday. How the hell am I so happy? I don't know me anymore. Took a walk to smell the flowers. Called my mom and talked for hours. From the moment that you touched me, I'm not who I was before. When you're on my mind, feels like I'm floating with stars in the sky. When you're on my mind, I'm wide awake but I'm dreaming tonight. Since you left my bed and got in my head, you've been taking control of my life. I'm out on my mind. I need to see you at least one more time, oh. But I don't mind if it's forever. I wish my lips could be your coffee. Every morning you wake up, I was staring at the ceiling, and I saw your face appear. Think I might be going crazy since you walked out the door. When you're on my mind, I'm wide awake but I'm dreaming tonight. Since you left my bed and got in my head,
Hey, Mark, I thought Paulo had some really nice skating skills throughout this program. Ice coverage, he had a good feeling, a good lilt with the music. Had some challenge on the technical elements, just wasn't completely, body parts not totally coordinated on the takeoffs and had to step out of a couple of the landings and whatnot.
Yeah, technical element score will be affected, of course, by the mistakes made. And for me, with a little bit of the backstory of Paulo's skating, knowing that he left the sport for some time, now he's come back with obviously an aspiration to push for the Olympic Games. But he said that he's a coach, he coaches with his sister, Louisa, and he said that his students inspire him to skate again, and he wants to skate for them.
That's
so,
cool.
You know, I'm sure that his students will be beyond proud to see their coach out there on the international stage at this big event, skating to Milano.
You students that are watching your coach right now, here's the triple axel. Uses that power in that leg to get up in the air, gets all the way around.
And actually better than warm-up. He struggled with it more in warm-up, so dug deep.
Oh, that was good. Look at the flexibility he has here, turned out toe, so all the small details are really nice. So you young skaters can take from this young man.
Copy that.
Yeah, absolutely. There's the triple flip, does the 3-turn, tries to get around the triple toe. That perhaps maybe should have just doubled that one, but had to make a decision. That's a downgrade.
Just not the most efficient and clean of rotational positions.
Yeah, exactly. You need to have that momentum between those two jumps to really triple the second one. And be able to get into tight rotation position so quickly. It's such an important skill to have. And there he is, coach and skater. Great story.
And understandably rather exhausted, as coaches Ivan Dinev and Derek Delmore join up.
And you know, you wonder a moment like this how this benefits the skaters he teaches. What will he take from this that he will give to his skaters? You know, and yet, as we talked about, it's only words that you can, but they mean something because they see him in the kiss and cry.
And his coaches have experienced it and they pass the baton on, and now he will too.
Absolutely. 52.77 for Paulo. That'll put him currently into 4th place. There's a look at your top 5 so far in this event. Still pretty early on. Our next competitor represents Kazakhstan, Diaz Yurbay, 21 years old.
And Diaz started skating at 9 years of age, relatively late into the sport, and then started to train at the Dennis 10 Academy from 2021.
He'll open with the triple axel.
wonderfully passionate finish for Diaz Yurbay, representing Kazakhstan at the skate to Milano Olympic qualifier.
Yeah, that was sharp and crisp at the end of the program. Really nicely done. Had some challenges on the technical elements.
But for me, that highlight was the step sequence, the little dance break in the middle of the step sequence, totally embodying the piazzolla music that he needed to interpret.
And technically, that triple axel was a beauty. Had challenges after that on the left, a lot of movement going in on that back outside edge. And the triple flip double toe as well didn't work as planned, but had some really nice skill both in performance and technically as well. We'll see some of those elements in just a few moments as he's greeted by his coach coming off the ice.
And his coach, Oksana Ten, the mother of the late Dennis Ten, continuing the legacy of Kazakhstan's skating in the men's discipline.
And look at this triple axel, great ride off the edge, straight up. Look how tight he is in the air, that's awesome. Touchdown on the free foot though.
Well, it's interesting because he still has a positive period of execution on the whole, despite that 2 foot, because of the quality.
Well, I'm sure they saw it, but.
Yes.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say it's interesting when we reference so often the grades of execution for the judges, taking into consideration both the positive and the negative bullet points. And a skater that can have a really, really great jump technique that is a really high grade of execution, has it drawn down if there are mistakes made. Ultimately, you want to be able to have a great technique for a good starting point, as we see some of my favorite parts.
Yeah, and a great technique doesn't always guarantee you're going to do it.
Exactly.
Right? But basically, it's going to stabilize yourself, you know, through most of your competitions. This young man has a lot of skill. He's interesting to watch. He's got great performance. He's got good technique. Didn't perform it all perfectly on this program, but he's 21. We'll see him.
And
for a number of years yet to come.
The influence of Oksana Ten, and also working with Stéphane Lambiel for the choreography, so utilizing great inputs in his development.
Diaz Yurbay.
Short program scores for Diaz Yurbay, 64.92. That'll put him currently into 3rd place, and that is a good indication of his overall quality, even with those mistakes. Skating skills, performance, program components. Wow, there he is. He's in 3rd for the moment.
Our next skater represents Malaysia.
Our next competitor represents Malaysia, Zenfang, 20 years old.
And Zenfang has such limited facilities comparative to others. His coach Derek Delmore was explaining that he often skates in a rink about half the size of this arena, which of course makes training very challenging, but out here performing to his favorite artist, Bruno Mars.
So pretty, I'm too hot. Call the police and the fireman.
fan favorite, Mark.
I was just going to say, it's not a massive audience here, but Zenfang from Malaysia has absolutely impacted upon them and excitement, and it's so interesting to hear what an audience reacts to. We've seen great skating, we've seen much more difficult technical element score than what Zenfang offered, but his performance and the music has connected with the audience more perhaps than any other.
Well, there's no question the music has great rhythm, great beats, and he was hitting some of it, not all of it, some of it. The problem with skating is you cover the ice so quickly, so it's hard to hit those staccato type of moments as much as we hear and we would like to see, right?
Yeah, but energetically, Derek was explaining he loves Bruno Mars.
Oh my God.
Whilst the precision of the musicality could be developed, energetically you could sense his joy for it.
Oh, yeah.
As we see this double axel, it's just important to acknowledge this is a skater that has such a different training. And he said that growing up in Malaysia with limited facilities, it's never been easy. He's had to share the public ice. Triple toe.
Just watch the arms there. See that left elbow that is up? Same thing in the double axel. So that's a small thing, but that slows the rotation down slowly. You want to get those arms right up against the body core to straighten up the body and be a little faster in rotation, but not bad at all. I was just being very picky, but that's just a small detail. Good sit spin. Here we get into some of the moves, some of his love of this artist. Yeah, nice.
And it was interesting as we do a little bit of breakdance here at this point, the camera angle during the performance had his coaches in the back of shot, and I could see Ivan Dinev smiling before I saw the breakdance. So the coach knew what was coming, and you could tell he perhaps knew that the audience would react to it as well as they did. And interestingly, in this group test for Zenfang, there are 3 men who competed at the 4 Continents Championships earlier this year, and Zenfang was 22nd. We've had other skaters who were 19th and 20th at that event. So a lot of these men have come up against each other before, as we see Joy again.
He's excited, and we've seen that tracksuit on a number of occasions on the Junior Grand Prix now. We've seen it also in the senior events. So Malaysia is starting to expand and grow and inspire a next generation. Let's take a look at the scores. All 3 of them in the kiss and cry, pretty excited and happy with that. 62.85 is his personal best. Not sure he'll reach that today in this event, but when it all comes together technically with that energy, I can see that score.
And I get good to see the coaching combo of Derek and Ivan supporting these athletes.
57.27, a little bit shy of what he'd love to have, but he's an entertaining skater, that's for sure. And that'll put him currently, at the moment, into 5th place. Our next skater, there he is, representing Croatia, Yari Kesler.
So from Bruno Mars to now a complete stark contrast is Claude Debussy and Claire Delune for Yari Kesler. Whatever the technical element score in this performance, I'm not sure, but please be mindful and appreciative of the beauty of the movement of this Croatian skater.
Mark, I have seen you skate, and I saw you during this performance, and if you were on the ice, that would be you, because every detail, every piece of choreography to the music, you were melting.
Oh, I mean, it's just so stunningly beautiful. Yari Kesler is just a divine skater, and he is not in this Olympic qualifier skate to Milano. His greatest strengths, which are, I believe, better than anybody else in this field in terms of aesthetic and line, aren't going to be recognized in the sporting arena. I don't think that this is a skater that will make the top 5 spots, but he has something that few have, and it's just so gorgeous. I'm just thinking he almost, I can imagine a content creator taking him to an outdoor rink and just making something virally glorious.
But I wouldn't say that it wouldn't be recognized. It is recognized. You just recognize it. I just recognize it. You recognize it now as you see the replay. Will it take the top 5 spots? Probably not. Why? Not because of the art, but because of the sport.
Yeah.
That's the reality of it. There's the triple Lutz. Takes his time. Gets up and, yeah, clean in the system. That's good. No reviews, actually. Wow.
I mean, this spread eagle, I don't know where he's at now at this moment, but just the neckline, the arm line, the awareness of the body, there's such body control, there's such body awareness. But a triple loop is a lower base value element than that which we've seen and will see from others. So the technical element score, of course, will be lower as a result of that.
Yeah, and the double axel, that's unfortunate. Here's the spread eagle up into the double axel, and his left foot turned so dramatically on the takeoff, it was way out of whack on leaving the ice. But the rest of it was simply beautiful. And you know what I always talk about quite often? Conductor conducts the music, and the skater skates to it. In this way, the music followed the skater, like he was conducting the phraseology.
And he works with Ekaterina Evleva on the choreography. We've got to respect and acknowledge that. But for a lot of the year, Yari has to train on his own. He works in his family's hotel in the Italian mountains to finance his training, because he's unable to then get to his training place with Angelina Tarenko and Elisa Mikonsari as much as they would all like that to happen.
Young man, you are brilliant. Brilliant. We appreciate what you do. We see what you do.
Glorious.
The numbers will relate to the sport and to the performance. 66.50. That puts him in second. That is an indication of how wonderful this young man is in all the aspects, even the loss of scores on that axle.
I can't sing the praises of his skating enough. I need 10 more minutes.
We don't have it.
That was jumping. Yeah.
Okay. That was lovely. And a little unexpected. You may have seen him. I haven't seen him.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah, so that was spectacular.
Let's welcome our next group of skaters. Representing Monaco.
Well, next warm-up group getting ready to take to the ice, and the first of those to compete will be David Luton Bray.
Representing Hong Kong, China.
And then to the skater representing Hong Kong, Jarvis Hull.
Representing Ukraine. Krillo Mars.
Fresh from competition last week in Italy, the Lombardia Trophy, Ukraine's Krillo Mars.
Representing Turkey.
And then to Burak Demir Boga, representing Turkey.
Representing Armenia. Saman Danilon.
And then to the 18-year-old Saman Danilon, representing Armenia, blowing kisses to the camera, coming on with confidence and energy to start the 6-minute warm-up.
You have lots of energy in those introductions, Mark. It's great.
Yeah,
totally.
I think when the skaters, we are so fortunate to be watching this.
Yeah.
And when the skaters inspire me, it's just the only thing we've got is our voice to represent them. So my voice gets a little bit more giddy with excitement.
A little higher.
A little higher. And that's before, we get to the later stages when, we start to vie for those top 5 places. That said, some of the skaters in this group have had scores recently which could put them in contention for those spots.
And one of the things that I find interesting here now is that, quite often people say, oh, I just want to go to the top competition, to the, Grand Prix final or to the World Championships or whatever. Look, competition's competition. And this is a wider range of ability, but I find it actually in some ways more interesting. It's interesting to see the developments, interesting to see the challenge, interesting to see the growth of each one of these athletes. So I appreciate that. I like that.
And when you say that, Ted, it makes me appreciate, if I think of when we cover the Senior Grand Prix events, which are an invitational competition, we see amazing skating, and it's wonderful to see, but you wouldn't see the likes of Yari Kesler, who I've just raved about at that event. So, yes, we are treated to...
And you would not see, at least at this stage, you would not see the developing countries like Ecuador or like, United Arab Emirates. You wouldn't see that.
No.
Yeah. But we know that's happening, and eventually we might see that.
And actually, you wouldn't have the multitude and variety of stories, like the first skater, David, who started skating in Monaco in 2008 and skated until he was 14 and only had axel and double jumps at 15.
I saw him in the Junior Grand Prix. The first time he came out in the Junior Grand Prix from a skater from Monaco.
Okay.
Absolutely. I've seen his career since the first time he stepped on international ice.
And at that point, you might not have assumed that he would go on to have a triple axel.
No way. I would not have assumed that, right? But here he is.
And in terms of then stories, Krillo Mars representing Ukraine, just an amazing story of sportsmanship at its best, because he has relocated and been supported by Valter Bertinen, who we will see compete and represent Finland at this event. Valter and his wife and coach Alina have taken this skater in, giving him a new base to train in, and just really supporting the skater, and it's just a glorious story of sporting compassion and humanity, and I'm here for that.
No, we all are.
Yeah. I think...
And here we see Brock on the ice now from Turkey. We were there, or at least I was there, you were at home working. But what's happening in that country in skating is fascinating, because there's sort of discovery of the sport by a group of volunteers and the government, and they're pushing and they're wanting to grow. Their rinks are full, they need more rinks. It's just exploding in Turkey, and a whole group of people that have energy and desire to have these athletes, support these athletes to the top of the game. And that's yet to come. We don't see that yet, although we see the improvement, but they're on a mission.
And as we see Burak on screen, we can think then, we know the number of young Turkish skaters who are watching now, home, supporting and sending as much good energy as they can as we look at Saman. And for Saman, he's skating to Armenian music, and that seems to be, as we see his quad toe there, a recurring theme that we have seen this season of athletes potentially using music representing their nation, and also the click and clear impact, perhaps forcing skaters to pick music that is maybe less conventional and is interesting.
For a number of years, just recently, we've seen people break away from other traditional sort of acceptable music, ethnic background music, right? But now people are picking their stories from their country and their outfits and their music, and that is fascinating. That's one of the things that's great about the expansion of the sport worldwide, is we're seeing more of the world on the ice.
Yeah, and I think with the recent development of the click and clear, with skaters working to get the use of music, perhaps we're now being exposed to a broader spectrum of different music, because otherwise it would be more the conventional music that skaters of this age would be listening to globally.
The popular piece, right? Yeah. And now we're hearing more classical music, and we're also hearing popular music, and we're also hearing more ethnic music. So we're getting a wider range, which I find fascinating.
Well, I think if we think of this event already at this early stage in the program, we've seen or heard music performed and created by one of the skaters themselves, a completely original piece. And then we had Bruno Mars to Claude Debussy. We had centuries of difference in the production of some of the music. And then we've had Ecuadorian music, and we'll have Armenian music to come. So truly a cavalcade of different entertainment. But all that said, we've got so many differences. However, there are some things that need to happen for these skaters to make the 5
Oh, yeah,
spots.
no question, yeah.
You know, if we remind ourselves of the fact that rinkside you will see Milano on the boards, Milano the home of the 2026 Olympics, and that is essentially a lot of what the athletes are here for, and we're starting to enter into that conversation about Milano because these athletes want to be one of the top 5 to achieve participation in Italy.
Not so far away.
Not so far away, and in the men's event, a clean skate and probably quadruple jumps.
Yeah.
I say probably, dependent upon the quality of the skating skills, then that might
Well,
be
maybe spot 4 and 5, may not. I mean, who knows? We'll see.
remains to be seen. Excitement.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Yeah.
Well, our next skater, I've watched this young man through his career as entering the Junior Grand Prix as a young boy, and here he is. Skate to Milano from Monaco. 26-year-old David Luton Bray.
And many skating fans in our community excited to have seen David landing a triple axel at the French Masters just a few weeks ago, upping his technical plan program content and hoping to use that successfully as his first jump. As he skates to the popular piece L'Enfer by Stromae.
Je suis pas tout seul à être tout seul, ça fait déjà ça de moins dans la tête. Et si je comptais combien on est? Beaucoup, tout ce à quoi j'ai déjà pensé. Dire que plein d'autres y ont déjà pensé. Mais malgré tout, je me sens tout seul. Du coup, j'ai parfois eu des pensées suicidaires et j'en suis peu fier. On croit parfois que c'est la seule manière de les faire taire. Ces pensées qui me font vivre un enfer. Ces pensées qui me font vivre un enfer. Est-ce qu'il y a que moi qui ai la télé et la chaîne culpabilité? Mais faut bien se changer les idées. Pas trop quand même, sinon ça repart vite dans la tête. Et c'est trop tard pour que ça s'arrête. C'est là que j'aimerais tout oublier. Du coup, j'ai parfois eu des pensées suicidaires et j'en suis peu fier. On croit parfois que c'est la seule manière de les faire taire. Ces pensées qui me font vivre un enfer.
Mark, so many things good about this young man's skating. This was very, very special.
Completely, and I know that he has a growing fanship, and I don't know why I hadn't really taken acknowledgement enough of David Luton Bray representing Monaco. He is a phenomenal skater, and it's so interesting to see there are some comparisons with the likes of Yari Kesler in clean line, but this contemporary energy brings a different kind of
They're similar
passion.
in many, many ways, but they're completely different in their performance. This was so good, and after watching, if I would have come here and he looked different when he was a little boy, obviously, right? I said, I wouldn't have recognized, okay, what's his name? And then I would go, oh my gosh. I would not have known that he would be a skater like this. That was brilliant. Beautiful choreography, wonderfully delivered. And very fit. He's trained.
And Kevin Amos has worked with him in his choreography. And I mean, Kevin, one of the most fascinating and brilliant skaters on the planet, and you can see some of that positive influence.
Look at that triple flip. Nice line going in. Nice straight position in the air. Soft knees on the landing. Carries the flow out of that. That's the type of quality that you want for a positive GOE, which he has on that element. So he's not only look at that. Look at the detail of that.
Cool.
This is where cameras should be. We need more of this skating for the audience to see inside the program, not from a distance. There's the triple butts. Beautiful air position, soft knees, gets the free leg back. Picks on the triple toe loop, great elevation, absolutely clean.
And you know, knowing you saw it at junior level, but for me, knowing that he stayed in Monaco until he was 14 and he was skating just a couple of hours a week, and the fact this is an athlete that had just excellence in doubles at 15. For those that aren't aware of our sport, most of these skaters in this event at 15 will have had probably a full set of triples. To then achieve that later, I can't say it's harder, but it's harder when you're juggling life and moving on to academics and job stuff. What he has achieved in his adult life, I appreciate it.
It is amazing. His personal best 71.58. He may very well beat that here. Because you have to understand, maybe he didn't have the triple axel here. You said
he did it at French. He did it at the French Masters event, and so I think that was a big deal because people obviously have appreciated how others have recognized the brilliance of his skating, but recognized he wouldn't be as competitive with that triple axel. But then he did it at French Masters.
But you add the triple axel into this program, and all of a sudden this young man goes up the elevator a long ways up there. But he becomes very competitive. Yes, you need quads at the top of the world, but this is a superb program. He's in the mid-sevens for the program components. A 73.56 for David Luton Bray. And that puts him in second spot. Somebody would have told me that, 6-7 years ago. Here he is. You never know what's in a person's heart. Never judge a person. Let them be who they are. Wow. That was great.
Our next skater represents Hong Kong, China.
From Hong Kong, China, Jarvis Hull.
Great to hear the support here for Jarvis Hull, and he said that it is surreal for him to compete at an event with the likes of Donovan Cole and Luna Hendricks, who he has admired growing up, and one of the things that he wants from this event is to get photos with people that he idolizes. How wonderful, though, that this is now his moment at the Skate to Milano Olympic qualifier.
Back from the edge, back from the dead, back before demons took control of my head, back to the start, back to my heart, back to the boy who would have reached for the stars. Oh, he would have reached for the stars. You can take my home, you can take my clothes, you can take the drugs I have that nobody knows. You can take my watch, you can't take my phone. You can take all I got till I'm skin and bone. I don't want control, I can dig my own hole. I can make my bed and I can lie in it cold. Cause I don't need heat, I've been burning in hell. But now I'm back with my own story to tell. Back from the edge, back from the dead, back before demons took control of my head. Back to the start, back to my heart, back to the point who would have reached for the stars. Back from the edge, back from the dead, back from the tears that were so easily shed. Back to the start, back to my heart, back to the point. could make my bed and I can lie in it cold. Cause I don't need heat, I've been burning in hell. But now I'm back with my own story to tell. Back from the edge, back from the dead. Back before deals, so control in my head. Back to the start, back to my heart. Back to the boy who would've reached for the stars. Back from the edge, back from the dead. Back from the tears I was too easily shed. Back to the start, back to my heart. Back to the boy who would've reached for the stars. Who would've reached for the stars.
And Mark, we've seen this young man on the Junior Grand Prix both last season and this season. So this is a young man that's, you know, gaining experience in the Junior Grand Prix, moving up to this and getting this wonderful experience.
Yeah, and I mean, Jarvis has acknowledged that this is an experience for a skater, junior and senior this year, doubling up in both categories. And he has acknowledged, having come from Junior Grand Prix, which he was proud to compete at, this is a big step up. And I just love to hear, having heard from him, how excited he is to get signatures from some of the other skaters. And hopefully now, though, this week, this event makes him now no longer view them as different entities to him, that he's a part of this community at senior level.
Yeah, and also to take a look, what are the differences between himself and these other senior skaters. You see the triple flip there, that was pretty good. A little late getting the free leg back. He gets on a lean on that triple toe loop, but that was an odd fall. Slips off the toe picks on the landing of the triple toe. And some work on refinement to do, pointed toes, you know, stretch landings, those type of things. That's normal at this stage.
And it's interesting when we consider the skaters that are sharing the ice today. The first group, those that were alongside Petra Gumennik, will have seen Petra quadding so easily and so comfortably. They can take some of that brilliance to motivate them in training. This group have had Luton Bray and Yari Kesler. Component skills, excellence. For Jarvis Hull now, he has been exposed to athletes that have different things to gain from and glean from. Jarvis needs to work on his skating skills.
Yeah.
Jarvis needs to add increased technical difficulty. And his passion for the sport will hopefully now be ignited even more with more education.
For sure. A little work on posture as well.
Yeah.
Those type of details, but this is normal for the stage of development that a junior would be at as they're starting to look towards senior, but he's here. These are valuable. These are defining moments quite often, and I don't mean disappointing moments, but the quite moments you realize, oh, okay, I've got a long ways to go here, and this is what I see others doing, and that can help change your path. Short program score for Jarvis Hull, season's best, 51.91. He is thrilled in the kiss and cry. That'll put him currently in 9th place. Yeah, good experience all the way around. Our next competitor represents Ukraine, 21-year-old Krillo Mars.
And as I mentioned in warm-up, Krillo comes to this event fresh after the success of good outings at Lombardia Trophy. Now this short program following me a connection with his father and a tribute to his dad.
I thought sooner or later the lights up above will come down in circles and guide me to love. But I don't know what's right for me, I cannot see straight. I've been here too long and I don't wanna wait for it. Fly like a cannonball straight to my soul. Tear me to pieces and make me feel whole. I'm willing to fight for it and carry this weight. But with every step I keep questioning what is true. Fall on me, ascoltami. Fall on me, abbracciami.
Mark, there's a very big story behind this, personal story for this young man, and people can find that story somewhere.
Yeah, you can check out Golden Skate for further details of this program and the emotion behind it. And Krillo Mars had just the greatest respect for me for what he does in managing to skate like that when there's so much emotion behind the story in tribute to his father. And it's just
it's pretty incredible. And he had a great skate. I mean, other than that one technical mistake, that was outstanding.
Yeah, and actually better than Lombardia as well last week, because it was the free skate that was the strength in Lombardia, and I think he had a double, triple in Lombardia in the combo, managed to get triple loops, which is more valuable than the combo that he delivered last week. So to that extent, it's progression. As we see, the quad salchow to start.
Let's take a look at the landing here. Great height. And that is clean in the system, no problem. He gains 11.09 points on that one element. The triple axel, look at the arms back, follow through with a free leg. Wonderful lift up into the air. Nice, clean, soft landing. That brings him 10.17. So the first two elements, he's got almost 22 points. There's the triple lutz. This is a problem after this. Right there, too far forward, hands go down. He doesn't have enough momentum. Squeaks out a double toe loop.
Kind of the reverse of the Lombardia show where we had the double loops, triple toe, this time triple loops, double toe loop.
And he loses about 3 points on GOE in that, but that's okay. The rest of the program very strong.
And although Krillo doesn't get to see his father, he is supported here by Alina Meyer-Vertinen and Alina's parents even as well. The coach's parents are coming to support Krillo too, and I just love this example of compassion and humanity within our sport to see others supporting, and then the gratitude that Krillo obviously has for Alina and that family is,
I like that.
Beautiful.
GOE plus plus plus.
He needs 2 more. He needs GOE plus 5.
Yeah, maybe that was built a couple years ago, but it was just 3.
The score, please.
Well, he has a 75.35 is his personal best score, and this on this day is 72.33, just a couple points short of that personal best, but that'll put him in the 3rd place. There you go, your top 5 so far in this event as we move down the list, and the event starts to settle in, finding out who will be, at least after the short, close to the top 5. Next skater representing Turkey, Barak Demir Boga.
And Barak is the first Turkish skater to place within the top 24 at Europeans and wants to make history to become the first male Turkish skater at the Winter Olympic Games.
Dame el amor hasta que yo suene la trompeta.
Mark, this was a good skate for Barak.
Absolutely, and for Barak, as is often the case, we get connected emotionally with the skaters, and for Barak Deir Boa, he wants, as I said before he performed, to make history to become the first male Turkish skater at the Olympic Games. He competed 4 years ago at the Nebelhorn Trophy at the Olympic qualifying event. That was his ISU personal best short program score 4 years ago. He's coming here wanting to showcase the improvements that have been made. Although this was good, I think it's going to struggle to get the objective that he wants. But for me, I just think, oh, we want this for all the skaters. And
yeah, we do. We want it for everyone, but it's competition. Let's take a look at the triple axel here. Good ride off that edge. A little bit of lean in the air. He has to step out of that. That's going to be a minus 1.60 GOE off the base score. He takes in 6.40 for that element.
And here we see triple flip, triple toe, no question mark, over rotation. Sorry, loose and toe. And for Barak, the technical content is good. He's got a natural softness of knee and ankle. He's been well trained by his coach, Rana Gojman, who has been his coach since he was 6 years old. So you've got a 29-year-old skater here who's been for almost a quarter century working with the coach to effectively get to this point, to have the pinnacle of their sporting world by qualifying for the Olympic Games. The challenge for Barak is just that he doesn't have the component scores that others have had. Like,
yeah, he's in the mid-fives.
David or Yari, so he's not got enough on the TES or the PCS, but you have to respect and acknowledge the work that Rana and he have done together over, over 2 decades worth of collaboration.
Yeah, and the challenge is as you get better, in most cases, so does the rest of the world. And so sometimes to pass the rest, you've got to get better faster than those. Let's take a look at the scores for the short program, 61.02, and that'll put Barak currently into 8th place. Our next competitor represents Armenia, Saman Danilon.
And Saman there, giving a high five to Ari Zakarian, who has helped him to arrange this music, and it is music that he's so proud to skate to. It's Armenian folk theme, and he said it's not just a program, it's a prayer. It contains the soul of the Armenian people.
Listen carefully. It's beautiful.
I mean, as Saman Danilon completes his short program and the dynamism at the end, and there were aspects within the choreography of this short program for Saman which had great musicality, great intention, but there were lots of red boxes on the top left-hand corner of the screen suggesting negative grade of executions on I think most of the elements.
5 elements. 5 out of the 7 elements are losing points for quality, for lack of quality.
And that, just as a recurring theme through this event with the Olympic Games as the pinnacle to achieve, is the constant reminder that this is a sport.
Yeah.
And that the sport needs the points and needs the technical element score. But that's an image. That's seriously cool.
Here's the quad toe at the top of the program. Looked pretty good in the air. Just a little bit of a lean forward. Keeps the hand off the ice. Good work there. And this triple axel, this was a little bit more problematic. On the lean there, and hand goes down, steps out, but it was not under, so that's good.
And if this, oh no, I didn't know which of the spins. I love the difficult exit. It was maybe from the change set spin. That was really cool. Making sure the body is having to work harder to achieve the level, but also push the grade of execution. This was cool.
Yeah.
You can almost hear the piece of music with the movement that he had there to punctuate the end of the program.
And if you had all the technical elements, the crispness of that, you know, musical piece and the story and all of that, this would be, you know, elevated. Currently, he's into the, you know, mid to high 5s, and this would probably reach the 6 area, low 6s perhaps.
And this is the challenge now for Saman moving forward, is to make sure that he's finding time to devote to the skating skills work so that his baseline glide will justify him being saved by the program component scores, even when there are mistakes on the tech score.
Anxiously waiting, and now they have choreographed music to build the tension for the scores. I know
what the score is, and I'm feeling anxious. So.
Yeah, exactly. Well, his personal best 73.70 and his season's best 66.62. He's not going to reach that personal best with the performance today. We'll see how close he comes to his season's best here.
Saman Danilon has earned 63.59,
Well, 63.59, a few points short of his season's best. That'll put him currently into 7th place after 3 groups, 2 yet to skate.
There will now be
The 93.80 by Petra Gumennik leads the way by quite a bit. That's going to be a tough score to beat, that's for sure, as we take a look at the standings so far after 3 groups. Any comments, Mark?
Well, I actually think Petra was incredible, but 2nd, 3rd, and 4th place for me also were so memorable. They may not qualify, but if you're tuning in now, go back and watch because they were brilliant.
Yeah, good point. We're going to take a short break during the ice resurfacing. We'll be back with group number 4 on day number 2 here at the Skate to Milano competition, the Olympic qualifier. Stay with us. We'll be back.
在自然里，自然喧嚣也有动听。翻过一座山，探寻一处景色。这里没有外面的烦恼，只有天上画着的繁星为我们指引方向。无论你在哪里，在做什么，自然都会诚挚的邀请每个人和睦，与摩西河一起奔赴自然。
welcome back to Beijing, China. Skate to Milano, group number 4 in the men's short program. Ahead of count. Here we go.
And first to take to the ice in this fourth group, Gorgi Rashenko representing Czechia. And then to an amazing story, Finland's Valter Bertinen takes to the ice. And then to the 21-year-old Hungarian skater, Alexander Vlasenko. And then to 17-year-old Genri Kau. And then to Austria's Mauricio Zandron.
Okay, we are partway through, more than halfway through this event. What's your read on this event, and what do we got some more coming up that might threaten the top?
Well, I think it feels, I mean, yesterday was a wonderful day of skating filled with emotion and high intensity at the Skates to Milano Olympic qualifier. I feel though that in this men's event on the second day of competition that already the diversity of stories is a diversity of stories and also the diversity of skating. And as we look now ahead to this next group, we have men on the ice with such broad spectrum. There are skaters in their 30s, there are teenagers, there are skaters coming into their first potential Olympic cycle, there are skaters vying after multiple attempts to qualify for the games.
And there are skaters that fresh out of Junior Grand Prix find themselves here in Beijing.
And these men will have shared the ice earlier today, they'll have shared the ice in practice this week, and for all their different, you know, life experiences as skaters, they share now one common goal of having the recognition of all of their hard work and dedication to this sport rewarded with participation in an Olympic Games.
Yeah, one of the interesting is we see Valter Bertinen, who has such a unique story behind him, and he's 38 years old, I believe, and you talked about the range of skill, but also the range of ages, of course, so that means different stages of life, different stages of experience in this sport, and that's what I find so interesting about this competition.
Oh, and you know, Valter Bertinen, his daughter is here now.
Yeah.
His daughter Leah, I think is 4 years old now. She's in Beijing with his wife's parents. And it's such a, you know, a completely different lifestyle. When you're a father, your time is taken up much differently to when you're a 17-year-old teenager fresh off the Junior Grand Prix.
And I believe he's a doctor.
He's a doctor. He speaks 4 languages. He's a team doctor for Finnish hockey. I mean, the list of...
I mean, that's crazy.
Just...
I mean, it's not crazy, but it's...
Amazing crazy.
Amazing crazy. Yeah, there you go. Wow.
And it's interesting to see now the skater on screen representing Hungary, Alexander Vlasenko, the way in which Alexander skated onto the ice, the way in which he has now seen himself on the giant screens in this venue. He looks like he's got a kind of enervated, energized, fighting energy. He's got his own kind of approach to this.
He has a brother in skating as well. His mom's a volunteer at the organization, and they're a wonderful, wonderful family. And just as you've talked often about, the family effort and commitment and all that they give and have to give up for the pursuit of something like this.
Yeah, and I think one of the, as we watch Genri Kau, one of the things that we are really passionate about doing is trying to support not just the sport but the athletes, and trying hopefully to engage fans, not just of skating, but fans of sport, to engage with these humans. Different sports though have different support systems, and there are some systems that some have federations that really do support, and there are others where it is hugely self-funded, and so then the sacrifices of the families may be even greater than Olympic level athletes in other sports, which get a little bit more support.
Yeah, but you know what it's like being a dad. There isn't anything you wouldn't do for your kids. It's your biggest priority in life. Yeah, there you go.
And as we see now, Mauricio Zandron, he also in his 30s, at 32 years young, working his triple axel. He said that he is proud to share the fact that he's still competing at 32 years old because he's still passionate about skating. And, you know, I'm still passionate about skating too, but I'm not out there competing because it's so hard.
Yes,
it requires so much commitment.
But you would love to be.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think that's something that perhaps the younger athletes that are sharing the ice in this warm-up with the likes of Mauricio and Valter will be able to glean from these more experienced skaters, be able perhaps from experience of sharing a locker room at this event in Beijing to realize, oh wow, I'm really lucky to do this because they're still choosing with a harder life path to be back.
So when you watch this event and you watch Yari Kesler from Croatia, do you yearn to be back on the ice?
I mean, there's a huge part of me that wants to skate. You know, we are so privileged and I'm so grateful to be here in this capacity and still watching and involved in the skating. But when you're a skater who loves skating, you want to skate. You want to be out there and you want to skate.
So the answer is yes, Mark.
Yeah, but actually on that point, you're totally right. But on that point, from Valter, it's the juggle. The juggle with your life. And I can't juggle well enough to be able to fund for my children to live and still continue my own passion for skating. And so then my respect for how Valter is doing that is enormous. And also, I suppose, you know, confirmation, we've spoken about the commitment from the parents, but in some occasions here, especially now with Valter, the life partner too, the support of the life partner
totally.
To allow you to still have.
Life gets exciting, but it also gets complicated. And you have to transition from, you know, the athlete into the next stage of life, and we don't often talk about that. And in many cases, we don't even prepare the athlete well for that, because it's a shock to lose something that you've had always, every day in your life that you love, and that you cry and you laugh, you do all of that, and all of a sudden, it's over.
Yeah, and I think for so many of the skaters, skating starts as a hobby. It's something that your parents enroll you in potentially to keep you fit and active and out of trouble.
Then you fall in love with it.
Then you fall in love with it.
Then you get addicted to it. Sorry, I was interrupting you.
True though, totally true.
Here we go. Silence for a second.
Not used to
I'm
that.
sure the audience is enjoying that. Okay. Final words, technique. Hold the shoulder back, don't let them swing around. Our next skater representing Czechia, Gorgi Rashenko, 22 years old.
Well, from one great Czech skater, Michal Brezhina, to another, as Gorgi gets ready to skate to his short program. This is his first event of the season, although he took part in the Czech test skates in August to secure his spot here. That went well, and now hopes for great success in Beijing.
smart guy like this program. I like the intention of the program. I don't think he did it necessarily like it was designed or as well as he can or want to, but I can see great potential in this. He got lost a little bit technically because, you know, there was a bit of a mistake, and so that got him a little bit behind. But I love the intensity of this music. I love the music itself. You know, it's sharp. I know it's not your type of music.
Well, no, but it's all about how the skater interprets the music and how they deliver to it. And interesting when you mention that, as Gorgi Rashenko leaves the ice, his choreographer, Adam Sawyer, he had acknowledged this is a new style for him, but this is Gorgi's favorite short program of his career. And one thing that's actually really interesting about anybody that works with Adam Sawyer is they always rave to us about how much they've enjoyed the choreo process, and that's a real testament to the choreographer, not just the work, but the happiness in the work.
And you can see what is designed and what he does. There's maybe a little touch off here and there. There's the quad sow at the top of the program on a big lean, and he has to just flip out, hands go down. That is on the quarter. But what I was so impressed with, he comes back with the quad toe, triple toe later in the program.
And I was looking at Gorgi's past history, and he's 3 times been a participant at the World Championships, but hasn't cracked the top 30. And I'm thinking, okay, well, we've just seen quad toe, triple toe in the second half of the program. Here it is now. I mean, monstrous elevation and quality that would justify a skater achieving close on a 9. If you could replicate that with the triple axel and the quadruple salto, a skater that could be pushing 90 in a short program, but it's just managing to deliver that under the pressure. And what was remarkable is that the greatest jumping success pass here for him was in the second half of the program, when arguably you would expect the least success because you'd be most fatigued. So perhaps it's just for Gorgi just managing that, all the nerves and the adrenaline and the desperation to show what he's capable of, just perhaps affecting his timing a little.
And doing that quad toe, triple toe combination put him perhaps in the hunt for that 5th, for the top 5 spot. But we'll have to see. We have 10 skaters yet to come. But this score, he has a personal best of 75.59. We won't see that in the score, but we might see enough to put him close enough to fight. We'll see. He anxiously waits to see. But what a great comeback. He refocused, and that's why I think he got a little disconnected with the music and the choreography. Not totally disconnected, just a little bit off because he knew he had to get that combination.
Especially when we look through the event already, we've seen program component skaters of exceptional quality, but those combos, the jumping passes, will dictate the result.
It's called a technical program.
Absolutely.
They just want to know, how close am I? Will I be to those top 5 spots? That's what the attention is. This number is so critical. It's a 71.03. They're going, okay, not too bad. We don't know where that's going to be, but it's probably big enough to be close enough. We'll see. More to come. Now it's a wait and see. Our next skater, 38-year-old Valter Bertinen, representing Finland.
He has been a senior competitor for 19 seasons. This, I believe, his 20th season as Valter Bertinen gets ready to skate to the track. Black belt. Finland's Valter Bertinen completes his short program. And I think there's such a sentimentality to wanting to see this skater achieve, having enjoyed their performances for so many seasons.
You know, and Mark, I was wondering how many people back in Finland are watching this young man from maybe hospitals or maybe doctors' offices or families and friends and colleagues that he has known all his life, and they've known he's done this, but you know, they didn't know to what degree. And it's quite remarkable, his journey and his story.
It truly is, and I think, you know, the skating community has such great appreciation and respect for his continued involvement. And when asked the question, why does he keep returning, there's no why do we even there's no reason to ask. We should just be grateful and thankful.
Well, I think his answer was, why not?
Exactly.
That looked like he was preparing for the, it is the Lutz, goes in, comes out clean, that's good. And here is the triple toe. Now the second one, that one's fine all the way around, but he loses speed right there, too far forward, gets on the toe pitch. Watch the landing here, it is forward, so that'll be a downgrade, and he'll lose about 2 points on that downgrade from the base score of the element.
But Valter had explained that for this event and the season, he's working on not just focusing on the technical element score, which he'd so previously needed to secure World Championship participation, wanted to make sure that he's more attentive and mindful of the program components too. And the choreography with the Katarina Evleva was so detailed, and you almost sense that the maturer the athlete, the more that they want to connect with the musicality of their performance, and it was evident throughout.
And I think that music and that choreography gave him this intensity required for the sport aspect of it. You know, it's like a warrior.
Yeah, and yeah, he's a warrior.
Yeah.
And interestingly, the composition component, the first of the 3 program component scores for Valter, is the highest, and I think that's totally justifiable given the volume of detail that was evident throughout the program.
The score, please. Valter Bertinen has earned
Short program scores for Valter.
points in the short program. He is currently in 12th place.
56.95, and that'll put Valter currently into 12th place.
Our next
skater representing Hungary, 21-year-old Alexander Vlasenko.
And Alexander Vlasenko competed in the World Championships in 2022 following the last Winter Olympic Games, but now wanting to add that tagline of becoming an Olympian himself. Skating to the moon over the ruined castle.
And he'll open up with a quad sow. Mark, I have to mention the use of the music in the step sequence, every detail, little nuances to little notes, the background notes, and then top phrases, everything. So he had the time. The work was already done technically, but he spent the time and the effort choreographically to make sure every detail was handled.
Yeah.
Really nice, really nice.
Really good work by he and Adam Solian. It's kind of confirmation that the skaters are starting to pay such greater appreciation for the ability to utilize the music within the choreo process.
There are so many phrases in a 2.5 or minute piece, so how much you use. We're seeing more of the detail, more notes, more, you know, front top heavy or background music or background phrases being used in more detail now. Not as much as we will see in the future, but more than we did in the past.
Yeah, the choreographers working hard to even music edit on site during the choreography process as we see big skid into the opening triple axel, just that touch of the fingertips forcing the judges to detract on the GOE as we see this triple flip, triple toe combo.
That was nice down in the knees. It doesn't have a lot of speed, but gets up high enough on that triple toe loop. Let's see. Okay, it's given clean in the system.
And as you were saying, Ted, Alexander Rashenko had intended to start with a quadruple jump, but electing to tweak the planned program content, and perhaps now at this stage, the coaches and the skaters having to be mindful of what's happened already.
Right. They're probably looking at the scores and say, what am I going to kind of need at this point? Maybe I'm going to need this, so let's not take that risk.
Yeah. So Alexander and Yulia perhaps thinking, okay, tactically it might be better to go for the clean skate, which he has submarring that little touchdown of the hands. That will benefit you in terms of your proximity to those top 5 spots more than risking the inclusion of the quad sal.
Right now in third place is 72.34, so you're going to want to be, let's see what's down in fourth, and fifth is 71, and then fifth is 66. So you certainly want to be in that range at this stage, which I think he will be. We'll see.
Alexander Rashenko has earned
Sure program score is 68.30. That is fifth, so puts him in that top 5, but we do have some good skaters yet to skate. We've got 8 more to come. So will that be enough, and how close will he be? We'll find out in the next hour or so.
Our next
skater represents Germany's 17-year-old Genri Kau.
And Genri has gained traction and attention online for the quadruple jumps that he has showcased as a junior, now stepping into the senior ranks with quad lutz as the intention.
We saw the quad lutz actually in warm-up, beautifully done, but he'll need it now. Well, Mark, he started out so well. First element base value was 15.70. He has a bit of a minus with the GOE, a little bit of lack of quality. So his total score for that first element, 15.21. What a great start. But
and of course, the loss of this spin has such an impact, not just on the technical element score, but also on the program component scores. And it's interesting because Genrik Gartung was in a battle to contend for this spot domestically, and his participation at Riga on the Junior Grand Prix, his bronze medal there, seemed to solidify the rationale to pick this skater. His jump content, the value of the quad jumps that he possesses, so powerful to help to try to secure that top 5 spot. This the quad Lutz.
there it is. Great height, great distance. A little bit forward, but gets up right away up into the triple toe loop. Squeaks that free leg out to save the landing on that.
You know, when you can possess quad lutzes and quad flips, which we've seen him do, it just offers such a huge potential to the score.
This was a little problematic with that step out there, but it's the spin that really was costly.
Yeah. Is this the one? I don't want to see it.
Right there, slips off that takeoff edge. And once you've gone on that entry edge and you missed it, you can't redo it. It's done, it's gone.
It's gone in the system, no value. And then, as has been the case throughout this competition, we do tend to see that there are skaters with a focus on either the tech score or the program component scores. It's like we have some skaters that are tech skaters and some skaters that are program component score skaters. For Genrik, the strength for him is definitely his technical prowess.
Yeah.
And so then that mistake in the spin, he's not got as much to lean back on and fall back on to support him from the program components.
But, you know, he's been on the junior circuit. This is a big step up, and he has the weapons to be able to do it. Not yet the experience and maturity growth. I mean, that's going to take time. Just 17. So lots of time.
And such support from coaches Ria Schiffner and Nico Ilinovsky, who are so behind this athlete, yet since having seen them on the circuit, they are so supportive of trying to help Genrik achieve his dreams.
He's going to wonder, what will the score be? How close will it be? 69.51, not bad. He takes over 5th place now. But we still have 7 skaters yet to come. So where will that score be? And how close will it be to the top 5? That's the race. That's the story. That's still unfolding. Our next skater represents Austria, 32-year-old Mauricio Zandron.
And Mauricio had explained that he loves this sport deeply, and even though he acknowledges that the level of the competition keeps getting higher every year, he is still here giving his best. And this is short program, a tribute to our planet, which we are exploiting. And a reminder to people to live in greater balance with nature.
Planet Earth, my home, my place, a capricious anomaly in the sea of space. Planet Earth, are you just floating by a cloud of dust? A minor globe about to bust? A piece of metal bound to rust? A speck of matter in a mindless void? A lonely spaceship, a large asteroid. Sunrise, what about rain? What about all the things that you said we were to gain? Did you ever stop to notice this crying earth, this weeping storm? Do you care? Have you a part in the deepest emotions of my own heart? Alive with music, haunting my soul. Drifting by planet Earth, gentle and blue, with all my heart. I love you.
Austria's Mauricio Zandron wants that top headshot to be over the Olympic Games in February in Milano Cortina.
He is a fast rotator in the air, really quick, good technique, but sometimes too fast, and he had to flip out of some of those elements. And yeah, the triple axel is in the minus, and so is the triple lutz, triple toe loop. So, and there's 3 elements losing GOE points, so for the base value.
And interestingly, I mentioned Mauricio's adoration for the sport and that part of the drawback to competition. This is a skater who has a master's degree in economics. Obviously somebody who's very capable of going on to achieve presumably financial success and a career out with the sport, but drawn to the ice.
We've talked about that, how difficult those people that are very smart in academics or other aspects of life love this sport because they can't master it easily. It's a puzzle. And it's a difficult puzzle. We saw that triple flip. Here's the triple lutz. Let's see what happens here. Nice and straight and fast in the air. Too far forward. Loses momentum. Gets up. Angle. Back on the heel. Can't get the free leg out. And it's a fraction. It's far less than a second. 0.06 of a second that you're in the air. So you don't have time to calculate and go, yeah, maybe I'll just change this. No.
And for Mauricio, the landing of the triple lutz wasn't optimal, but he probably was thinking, I need to make triple-triple if I've got the potential to qualify.
Yeah, totally.
But the risky landing was the reason he didn't have the momentum to take the triple toe loop at the end of that in the jump combo. He's still smiling though. This is good to see. What can you do?
Well, you've got to try. And that's what you did. You're here, you know what you're coming in with, and you got to deliver into that pressure moment where every eyeball in the building is only on you.
And he skates with an authenticity.
Oh yeah.
Mauricio Zandron has earned 66.
His best score for today, 66.21. That will put him 9th.
Ninth place.
That is at least 4 points out of 5th at the moment. That could widen the gap a little. We have another group, the final group here in the men's short program. David Luton Bray from Monaco being in second with 5 skaters to come. He's probably going, this is more than he could have dreamed of at this moment.
And a good advert for skating cleanly and not risking a high value content.
And with high quality PCs.
Oh, such high quality. So now we get to the final flight, and opening that will be Yuiang Lee.
Representing France, Franis Pito.
And then to Francois Pito.
Representing Great Britain, Edward Applebee.
And the 20-year-old British skater, Edward Applebee.
Representing Republic of Korea, Kim Yunyong.
The Winter Youth Olympic Games champion, Yunyong Kim.
Representing Israel, Tamir Cooperman.
Israel's Tamir Cooperman takes to the ice.
Representing Mexico, Donovan Cole.
And then to the final competitor, Donovan Cole, who is rightly taking a sweet time to get to the ice. Good on him.
On his time schedule.
Yeah.
There we go. And you know, especially with Donovan, he qualified for the games on the last qualifier that was held in Oberstdorf. And maybe, I don't mean a surprise, but what a wonderful moment for him and for skaters in Mexico. He wants to relive that moment, and he'll skate last. We saw him in practice today. He's a wonderful entertainer, wonderful skater, but you're gonna have to produce the technical elements. He does have good PC scores, so maybe a small mistake wouldn't be a big deal, but we'll see.
And I suppose this is now the junction in this competition where we become really heightened in our awareness of who is going to qualify for the Olympic Winter Games. These are the highest ranked athletes on the world rankings. As we see, Yuiang Lee looking very much in the moment, mindful of his introduction to the audience with a nice smile on his face.
But I thought it was interesting, the world rankings really, even in the women, didn't mean a lot. Because, I mean, it's world ranking, but some people are missing with points and they're down or
haven't competed, so haven't accrued.
Exactly. So I'm not sure that the grouping of this, although it is world rankings and that does mean something, it certainly doesn't mean everything in this. It's a wide open competition, except for who's in first at the moment, Petra Gumennik, by 20 points.
Yeah, Francois Pito. It's interesting. Francois' coach, Romain Ponsard, who we saw earlier in the event with another of his students, was explaining that he's one of his best friends was Nathan Chen, who won the Winter Olympic Games in this city, and there's an affiliation and a connection with that. And great to hear people who are mindful of the significance of Beijing and the skating history based on the last Olympic cycle.
And there was another skater, Nathan Chen, who was going to Harvard, I believe it was. I mean, he's just these are extraordinary people. We know them as skaters, but they are extraordinary people past these boards, past this ice surface.
And it would be an amazing research analysis to be able to check in with the athletes that have had success at universities such as Harvard, those Ivy League and those big university degrees. What would be the comparison of difficulty?
I don't know. Joanie Rochette from Canada, the Olympic bronze medalist in Vancouver in 2010. She's now a doctor. She's now a surgeon, right, in Montreal. So their lives are far greater than just what we're seeing here. But we don't know the stories. Well, you do a lot, and you do great research.
Well, and it's interesting then, when you think about what does skating give you for other life pursuits, and there is bound to be an element of what being an elite athlete gives you in transitioning into other ways. So being an elite athlete allows you to have a discipline and a focus and a work ethic.
Yes.
But I think often, and that can then lead on to Harvard degrees or master's degrees. But a lot of skaters might go out into the academic world but realize that skating is way more fun.
Well, it could be, for sure. But I think that, if you're in this world, you're a competitor. And so when you go outside this world, you're still a competitor. Want to be the best lawyer, or want to be the best, accountant, or want to be the best. So that drive to be the best helps you in your next profession.
We made a boo-boo. It was Yale.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Nathan.
Okay.
Went to Yale. Apologies. Either way, the important moment is super, super amazing human beings. And
was that Yale that just texted you?
Yeah, Yale University are a little bit grumpy.
Yeah.
But it's just, we're talking in this event, the Skate to Milano competition. It's an Olympic qualifier, and the Olympic Games and participation in that as a figure skater has the equivalency of, the greatest accolade.
As we see Donovan Cole currently on the screen, it's not only a big moment to try to make the games, but how close is this to the closure of his career? Is this his last year? We don't know. There's a number of skaters that will have that decision to be made.
Yeah, and we've already seen in this event, as we reach the final group, men who have performed who I believe have such a voice in the sport. And there are some trailblazers with the likes of Jason Brown and Kevin Amos who are such advocates for program component scores. Donovan Cole is another one that gives us emotion and storytelling in his performance, and it would be...
And his story in itself, in Mexico, a non-skating nation, about how he got started and how he got better and the things that he had to do to get to even this level is extraordinary. And unfortunately, we can't get that whole story out to the world because then you'd look at the skater in a different light, in a bigger light.
And a bigger appreciation. And I suppose, as you're mentioning, potentially seeing athletes come to the end of their competitive career, it makes me... Well, I don't know, we just want to immortalize all that they bring and just give voice to that. I don't want to see these people leave the sport because they bring so much.
Oh, they'll be back. It's in your blood. You will stay with this sport. You might leave it for a bit, but you'll stay with it one way or another as an official or a volunteer or, hey, commentator.
Yeah, indeed.
There you go.
Indeed. And it does seem to be the case as a generalization that those that are really passionate about the sport, those that we sense have a love and a connection with the sport itself, those are the ones that tend to stay within the sport. There are some that are just found their life, skating has become their life, it's an early pursuit and they're very good at it, and then happily walk away when the time is right. But there are some that have the real adoration for the ice.
Until you've experienced the sensations of gliding across an ice surface, it's hard to understand why you get so attached to it. It has its own beauty, that's for sure. Well, there is our first competitor in the final group, representing Taipei, Yuiang Lee.
Talking of special people, this a skater who was also a competitor at the World Junior Badminton competition.
Oh, wow.
Now competing to try to become an Olympian in ice skating.
Welcome to the city, said a young man sitting next to me. Heard you new in town, before you get around. Here's a little tip from me. Best stick to yourself no matter where you go. Just watch your back and hold your own. And if after that trouble's knocking at your door, remember my friend, it's a time we're fighting for. Welcome to your paradise with a little man pays a bigger price. Take another hit, just get it over with. We're a little sick, you see. Can't stay down no more, we gotta make it known. So get back up, you're not alone. And then hit 'em back, leave 'em grip 'em to the floor. You never had a choice, they're knocking at your door. Remember my friend, it's time and this is war. It's time and this is war.
Well, a good program overall for Yuiang Lee from Taipei. Out of 7 elements, only 1 is in the negative GOE, so he's gaining points on the base value of 6 of those elements, losing on 1 of them.
And perhaps a theme that we have seen in some of the other skaters and just changing that planned program content, perhaps mindful of what has taken place already in this event. There was a quad toe that was scheduled to be the opening element. He did try that at the Asian Open Trophy in Manila when he was second, but electing here to go for a simpler plan program content, and tactically it looks like that is potentially more likely to pay off. However, there has just been an under rotation added to the triple axel, so that has cut the base value of that element for Yuiang Lee.
But I think basically the strategy was a smart one. This is different than another competition like a national championship or even a junior or senior Grand Prix where you're trying to be in the podium and trying to get your best score. You really have to be strategic to reach the top 5, not necessarily the top 3.
And as we see the drawback for that triple toe, and just that, and he disguised it well, but the step out, the judges aren't ignorant of the fact that that forces the negative grade of execution, as you mentioned, Ted. Yuiang Lee competed at the World Championships in Boston. He was 30th there. There are quite a few men competing here, understandably, that did Worlds but didn't make the top 24. That's why they're here. And you know, what tactical approach are they all going to do to justify being a worthy competitor?
And isn't it amazing? You know, some of these young men, if they skated clean, you'd be going, oh my gosh, you'd be way up there. But that challenge is so difficult because it's not as if they're way worse skaters. No. It's just that they didn't perform on the day. And that's why we want every skater to skate clean, so then we really understand where you're at, right?
Quite the coaching staff here, seeing the return of Ivan Dinev and Derek Delmore again in the Kiss and Cry, supporting, I think, the third skater that they've had in this event. Having fun with all of them in the Kiss and Cry.
His best score is 69.63 from last season, and this score is a 70.31. That puts him in 5th place. Wow, he's in that top 5 at the moment with 5 skaters to come. We'll see how far away he is from striking distance for the pre-program, but right now he's sitting in the top 5. Next skater representing France, 20-year-old Franis Pito.
Francois, he was struggling a little bit this morning with the quadruple salto in practice, so he too may have a different intention as he gets ready to skate to Dig Down by Muse.
When hope and love
Francois Pito from France can't skate much better than that for him.
And I remember feeling yesterday on the first day of competition, it's so nice to see a skater go out and deliver a skate that is so justifiable of one of these spots. It's of course just the short program free skate yet to come, but Francois Pito has just skated in a way that makes me feel very confident that he is absolutely deserving of an Olympic spot.
And we have watched him in juniors and in seniors over the last few years, and you can see this was, in my mind, his best performance. It all came together. There was no doubt, not an edge out of place.
And this year, as he's hugging his coach, Romain Ponsard, Romain explained that this year they've employed Benoit Richaud, and that has added that extra layer. And Benoit always gives a story for the programs, but he said the objective this year was to bring out the charisma, the presence, and the mix of tension and seduction that make him unique on the ice. You can see a little off axis on the triple axel.
But it was huge. It was bigger than probably normal, but after that he settles right down. Look at how straight and tight he is. Gets the free leg back right away and rides that edge. Quality, that's a positive GUE. That's adding points to that base value. The triple Lutz, again, straight in the air, great distance, down to the knee, up in the toe. Wow, that was amazing. And on that one element, he gained 12.63 points for that jump combination.
And there was, I felt, I had to apologize to Francois because I wasn't sure that he would use the quadruple salto that, as I mentioned, he was having a little bit of an issue with in practice this morning, but the planned program content did include that. And from start to finish, there wasn't any element or any step that gave me the feeling of question mark over his comfort.
He was in complete control emotionally and physically in this program. When that all comes together, you have those wonderful moments that you work so hard for and are so rare. Clean program under the bright lights. See, anxiously wait for the score. Now, he has a 78.79. Anything over a 73 will put him in second place.
This music is humoring me.
Humoring you, so intense you. Okay, here we go. There it is, 81.24. Great score for Francois Pito from France. That puts him in second place with a good distance between him and third. So he's got some room. He's in a very, very nice position moving into the free program, but still some skaters to come.
Our next skater represents Great Britain.
And now to Britain's Edward Applebee, a skater who had ligament damage and a bone bruise to the joint in his left ankle, which has really hampered the preparation as he gets ready to skate to Another Love by Tom Odell.
I wanna take you somewhere, so you know I care, but it's so cold and I don't know where. I brought you daffodils on a pretty string, but they won't flower like they did last spring. And I wanna kiss you, make you feel alright. I'm just so tired to share my nights. I wanna cry and I wanna love, but all my tears have been used up on another love. All my tears have been used up on another love, another love. All my tears have been used up.
Great Britain's Ed Applebee, a skater who's injured for almost the entirety of the summer, and yet managing to...
Well, I'm thinking while I'm watching him skate, I'm going, didn't Mark just say he was injured?
Yeah.
It sure didn't look like it.
Could barely jump. I think he's only been back jumping maybe just over 5-6 weeks. So amazing to be able to deliver like that based on the preparation he's had.
He was energized throughout that program. He built that energy up. He had, you know, he did not back down on those elements, technical elements at all. He's a little bit forward on the triple axel course. That was the one element that was in it. The rest of it, that's top quality. That's top notch for him at this stage.
Yeah, and you know, the thing that I've got to recognize in Ed Applebee as we look back at the skating is this morning in practice, he was just always applauding the other guys. Just such a polite, nice young man.
This is the nicest young guy. I saw him on the Junior Grand Prix for years, did some interviews with him. So genuine, so down to earth. That triple Lutz, hands above the head, clears it cleanly. Low in the knee, pushes high up into the triple toe loop. That was a beauty. You can see some emotion coming out, not just in the choreography, but his expression in his face, which is heartfelt.
Yeah, and as we look at this triple flip, it's all good. He's not off the ice, as I say, he's so well-mannered, he's so polite, he's so humble, but he's not particularly extroverted or expressive. So to see him then give that.
Yeah, exactly. And this young man, he keeps himself calm with the Rubik's Cube before he skates. He's really fast with it. And he's an intellect, right? And he's more, you know, reserved. But on the ice, what he really is now coming out. Yeah. He is creative. He is heartfelt. He is an athlete and an artist. Nice.
Interestingly, I think the ISU have just posted on their social media his Rubik Cube prowess.
Oh, did they?
Quite
Okay.
impressive.
I remember filming that. That was awesome.
Christopher Boyaji joining Ed. He's satisfied. He'll obviously be aware of the challenges in preparation for this event that Ed has faced.
Again, he's going to have a 69.35. Now that is 8, but it's not so far away, as lots can happen. And we have 3 skaters to come, so we are starting to formalize and to see what that range of scores will be required, and how many will be within the reach of the top 5. Our next skater represents Korea, Yunyong Kim.
And Yunyong Kim was the winner of the first Olympic medal for a Korean man when he was the Winter Youth Olympic champion.
Planned for him to start with a quad toe. Mark, for this young man, that was a great skate. We'll see what happens with the quad toe. Out of 7 elements, 3 are under review. But I think for him, and we saw him practice today, he didn't land that quad.
No.
But in competition, and that's all that matters, he did.
And it's the same feeling and sentiment that I feel watching Yunyong Kim as after Francois Pito, a delivery of a performance that makes it indisputable. This short program, at least, will have to be in the top 5 in this event, and he has really showcased not only the goods with the likes of the quad toe that was so successful in the triple axel, but just a performance that clean, easy to watch, easy to give the points to.
Yeah, it was indisputable, you know. And although there are little things, his quad toe comes in clean, triple axel's under rotated. Here's the quad toe, watch the landing, great in the air. And the triple axel after that did come in under rotated. Here's the flying camel spin, that has been cleared now at level 4. Here's the triple Lutz, good speed coming down the ice there all the way, reloads, keep the momentum going up into the triple toe loop, gets that done nicely, and he gathers into that 12.04 points for that one element. And he has a level 3 on the chain spin, a level 3 on the steps, level 4 on the 2 other spins. So not missing many, not leaving too many points on the table, Mark.
Yeah, and interesting though just to see the impact of the under rotation on the triple axel. This was a score that started in and around the same kind of scoring as Francois Pito at 81 points, but implications on the tech score have dropped him down a little bit. And
he'll be in the top 5 though, you know, at the moment. We have 2 skaters to come.
Hyung Kyung Choi, his coach, who has, she's been on a marathon.
I think she's been following us around the world.
Yeah. And interesting to see Hyung Kyung Choi's commitment to all of our students, and every practice the iPad is out or the phone is out to record, to make further analysis. The coaching commitment doesn't end on the ice.
As he anxiously waits, will I be in range to strike in the free program to make the top 5? Yes, he will, 74.69. That puts him currently into 3rd place, and there are 2 skaters to come. He will be in the top 5. But there's still a free program to come and many that are close.
Our next skater represents Israel.
Our next skater representing Israel, Tamir Cooperman.
Tamir Cooperman.
And Tamir started skating at 8 years old. Prior to that, he was a national champion in karate.
Wow. Be careful. And he's going to skate to one of your favorite pieces of music.
Just wonderful music by Vivaldi from the Four Seasons.
wonderful, wonderful skater who started out brilliantly, 15.70 points, but then got 0 for the next 2 jumping passes, and that is going to be costly. He's so good, he might still be in range, not in the top 5, maybe at the moment. We'll have to see what these scores are going to be, but wow, that was costly.
Man, just devastating, and that's, you just feel from the human perspective how crushing this is. Fascinating that Tamir, when he opened with the quad salto triple toe, I could hear over and above our headset the audible gasp of excitement from some of the audience. It exhilarated and excited some of the...
You can see he's really distraught coming off the ice, but
no one
I think he doesn't know yet. We'll see what the score is going to be.
And this is so
but
hard.
he's got the technical elements to recover in the free if he can. We'll see.
I mean, he's a real contender with some of the stuff that we saw from a domestic event, an event in America. This quad salto looked easy. The triple toe.
Then he looks like he just got anxious, pops into the axle, he figures, okay, look, the quad toe, but here's the triple axle attempt, but opens this up. Oh, he really shoved that takeoff edge, turned it too much, because he was not wanting to miss that, but he did.
To be fair though to Tamir, he was still, as we see the difficult entry into the sit spin, he was still pushing the components, he didn't give up.
No, that's true. He's in the 7s. Wow.
I actually, to be honest, Ted, I assumed that the double toe and the single axle would be decimating his score completely, but given that we still currently have skaters within the top 5 in the 70s.
Well, look at the GOEs. 3 for the change sit spins, 3 for the step sequence, and oh, that's the base value. Sorry. Yeah.
But you know that? See, right now, like, you just see an 18-year-old who's devastated because he hasn't been able to showcase all the hard work that he's given. Or, you know, this is a skater who a couple of weeks ago did 6 quads over the course of a short and a free skate in an event that, you know, he would love to copy and paste now.
We know what he can do, and maybe we're going to see that in the free. And he's a skater to be contended with in the future, without question. This is one of those days you don't want.
And Galit, she's saying it's okay. Yeah. She's doing banking on all her experience to make sure that he doesn't.
63.82, that is 15th. The question is, how far away is it from 5th? Does he have enough of the technical weapons that he requires?
Think of Adam Xiao Himfa, Tamir.
Yes,
when it comes to moving up.
Good point, Mark. Good point. Our final skater, 25-year-old Donovan Cole from Mexico.
Yeah, the final skater in the men's short program, an Olympian already wanting to secure another spot.
The subject for tonight's lecture is rhythm, the beat, the driving force that holds our lives together. And so tonight, we say, hip hip, chin chin, the rhythm's action, the beat, the beat, the beat, the beat.
Chin, hip hip, chin chin, hip hip, chin chin. And so tonight we say,
Wow, you know, that's got to be a lot of pressure skating last, knowing that you had made the Olympic Games last time, wanting to do it again, and you knew what you had to do. My gosh, he didn't waver at all. He was completely 100% on.
Well, there are some skaters in this Skate to Milano event that are the poster skaters of the competition. We see them in and around the posters throughout the city, and Donovan Cole, one of those, with the responsibility of that, having the disappointment from the last World Championships ever since Boston, the 27th place in the short program. He will have known that he has to come here and deliver, and deliver he has.
I hope the country of Mexico is very, very proud because this young man, under bright lights, in immense pressure here, at least for the moment, fist up.
Para mi familia y para todo México. Los amo.
Yeah, absolutely. He's going to be firmly, nicely in a good position.
And it's little things like the way he leaves the ice, the way he speaks to camera there, that just makes you like fall in love with him even more. What a great character in our sport.
As we see that quad sow, really nice up into the triple toe. He was really patient to stabilize that landing of the quad sow before he put the pick in, and he got that jump done. There's the triple axel. Gets that clean as well. And after that triple Lutz at the end of the program, you could see him, wow, he's just...
Well, hip there was a little bit.
He's freewheeling here. Yeah. He's enjoying every moment after the hard work had been done.
And Donovan has explained that this year's training approach is more than just about what's happening on the ice. He's more mindful of the care of his body, the volume of rest and sleep, clean nutrition. And he said that all of that is helping to elevate the quality of his daily training. And that's something that in this next Olympic cycle he's been more mindful of to ensure that he's healthy and fit. And he's had to be in peak shape at this early point in the season.
Totally, and his lifetime personal best is 80.19. I think we'll see his new lifetime personal best in the short program right now when he most wants it.
And
you can see his coaches there, Jonathan Mills and Mike Gilman, who have been by his side in the last couple years doing some great work.
He's always so appreciative of them, and you can see that again transcending into the kiss and cry this time.
As they all three anxiously wait. And here it is. It's an 84.97. Season's best, personal best.
Let's go guys. Let's go guys.
There it is. He's in second place. A healthy 11 points over fifth place.
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the men's short program. The next competition is
Just such an endearingly nice guy, too.
What a great competition.
Yeah,
that was a lot of
brilliant.
fun. That was, and we talked a little earlier about the depth of this. We saw some good skaters all the way through this. Some didn't have their best skates. Many did.
Well, I'm just looking at seeing the top six and thinking, oh gosh, I so enjoyed all of them, and there are only 5 places for the Olympics. So
no, it's going to be a battle.
I can't face the free skate.
No.
You can do it on your own.
No. I was leaving, not you. No, but that's the fun of this competition. That's the great thing, that this has been built up, and it is that. But it's not just the top 5, it's the stories that are underneath and those that will be able to perhaps climb up. I mean, how many? We're dealing with 5th place right now at 73.56. That's David Newton-Brain from Monaco is in 5th place. But then you've got 72, 71, 78, 69. You know, we've got like 8 skaters that can reach those top 5. Well, as we take a look at some of the highlights in the men's short program, it's been brilliant, it's been fun. This is day 2, but only event number 1. We've got 2 more coming up. The medal events, we will find out who will qualify for the Olympic Games. The pairs free coming up, and that'll be followed by the women's free program. For all of us here at the ISU, I'm Ted Barton along with Mark Hanratty. We hope you'll stay with us for the pairs free coming up in just a little bit.